Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 156 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. We're doing one thing every day this year to be a better version of ourselves, to be a better person, to be a better human being, however you define and choose to do that. This month, we're focusing on the life framework area of contribution, meaning how we engage with and how we interact with and how we show up in the world with respect to things outside of us. Most of this challenge is about things inside of us, because guess what? The only thing we can control is ourselves and our behavior and our actions and our reactions and our emotions and how we show up in the world. But there are things, everything that we are and do and be and have impacts everything outside of us as well as inside of us. So today's topic is, how do I find, and I'm going to share a simple 5-step process. How do you find what ways are best for you to give back? How do you contribute? I'm just going to share one person's story first to kind of illustrate this. The cool thing about, and the most incredible thing about contribution and giving back is that somehow as human beings, we feel like if we give things away, it diminishes us. But the absolute opposite is true. And you only figure this out by actually doing it, by giving, by sharing, by serving, by helping in some way, shape, or form. All of a sudden you discover, oh my gosh, I did this thing. I volunteered at St. Vincent de Paul in Texas with my mom. And the cool thing is no matter how much effort I put into it, I always got more in return in terms of relationships, in terms of camaraderie, in terms of knowing that what I was doing, even though it was small, actually makes an impact and helps, right? So let's share, let's see which story. I'm going to share Tammy's story. Tammy, journey involved, and I'm going to grab a magnifying glass, turning grief into a purpose, right? She lost her sister to cancer in her 30s, and the pain was raw and consuming, and for years she struggled with that and didn't know how to deal with her grief. And so she began to attend support groups, and as she attended support groups, she realized that many people felt alone during their grief. Like everybody feels like whenever we're going through anything, whether it's grief, even if it's happy things, we all feel like we're doing it by ourselves. So often, especially when something bad or negative happens in our life, we feel like this is so awful. It's the end of the world. It's just me. It's me against the world, etc. And she found by joining support groups, there are support groups for everything you can imagine out in the world right now. Maybe it's got to be an online virtual support group, but that is still a support group or a way of connecting with like-minded people who are going through the same experience as you, so you know that you're not alone. Well, she volunteered as a peer grief counselor as part of that, joining the support group, and she at a local hospice center. And I can relate to this one because after my son's grandfather died on his father's side of the family, he started to do the same type of thing. He became a hospice helper and counselor and a companion for quite a while, helping old people, just keeping them company so that they weren't alone. And that helped him to overcome his grief about losing his grandfather. So what started as a personal healing became a life mission for her. And she ended up hosting workshops on, and still does to this day, emotional resilience and how you can strengthen yourself. So when the storm happens, and it inevitably will in our life, stuff's going to happen in our lives, good, bad, and ugly, and we need to know how to deal with it and get through it in a way that helps us grow and heals us and sets an example for other people. So the key takeaway here was that if you start with your own story, you often find a place to help and serve and volunteer, especially if you've overcome something, if you've solved a problem, overcome the challenge, if you've had a hardship. I mean, who hasn't gotten fired? Who hasn't gotten laid off? Who hasn't, think of the pandemic. Millions and billions of people automatically had their lives upended and uprooted during the pandemic all over the world, right? So almost everybody can relate to that. So if you can find a way that you solve that problem and help, which is actually what I do, and share that with other people, that is an incredibly powerful way to contribute. So how do you find your process and your way to contribute? I'm going to share this quick, simple 5-step process. You notice I like 3 to 5-step processes. Why? Because I have 5 fingers on my hand and I can remember 5 things if I tap into each of them and I link them to a finger. It's just a memory trick I learned. I don't know who I learned that from. it's been so long now. But number one, what do we do first to figure out what's the best way for us to give back or to contribute? Number one, identify what you're passionate about or what your strengths are, right? We want to always be giving from our strengths because that's where we have the most energy. Ask yourself a couple of questions. What breaks your heart? What makes you so sad or so angry that you feel like you have to get involved and help impact that thing? Right now, for a lot of people, it's politics. Where have you overcome adversity? Where have you had a challenge or a problem in your life that you've overcome adversity? I had a sudden cardiac arrest. Not that many people have sudden cardiac arrest, but a lot of people have huge health challenges. So after I had that, part of my learning and understanding what the heck happened to me was sharing with other people and helping other people to overcome huge health challenges and chronic pain. Third, ask yourself, what skills do you like to share? What do you like to teach? What do you like to share with people? What do you like to talk about? And it can be anything that will help other people to move forward in their life, right? How can I help? Self-awareness is always the first step of anything, right? How do we know what to do if we don't look inside a little bit and do a little self-reflection to figure out what's right for us? Secondly, start small, start locally. Start with one person, start with helping one person or one organization, etc. Your immediate environment usually has tons of needs and very few volunteers or very few people willing to help because everybody's out busily living their own life. Number three, leverage your network. Ask your friends, family, coworkers, business associates, acquaintances what they do or local leaders. What do you need help with that I could help with? What skills and abilities are you looking for in certain areas to make a difference in the community, to make a difference in your organization, to make a difference in the lives of people that you care about? Fourth, think beyond money. So often when we hear giving or contribution, we think you got to give money, you got to write a check, you got to somehow donate financially. But there is time, there is expertise, there is advocacy, resources, and just plain being a listening ear sometimes is the best thing that people need. The hospice volunteers, those people just need someone to be with them, be present, spend time with them, talk to them, read to them, listen to them. And God, the value you get in return for that is unbelievable. The wisdom that people share when they're on their way out, as long as they can communicate, is unimaginable. It's so miraculous. And then finally, be consistent. Stay consistent. Once you pick something, test and tweak it out, and then be consistent with it. Don't be fickle in your sharing. So today, what are we going to do? We're going to go through this 5-step process, and we're going to pick at least one way that we could contribute, that we could help, that we could add value to something outside of us. Why? Because when we do that, when we give, when we contribute, we realize we are all absolutely positively connected, and we're never alone. The world is there to support us. All we have to do is step out into it. So any questions, hit me up about this. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, see you tomorrow.